Hey, it's Gino here from Real Everyday English. Join me in this week's video when we tackle Unit 2 of this book, which is the present simple. Let's do this. People, happy Sunday. Welcome back to another video with me, Gino from Real Everyday English. Now, I know you guys think grammar is boring, so do I, but still, it's necessary to learn the principles of English grammar. I much prefer the videos where I teach in real-time situations, but unfortunately with grammar topics, it's not always possible to do that. So please bear with me and I'll try and give you the best demonstration of the present simple on the internet. Okay, so the natural place to start is with how we actually construct the present simple tense. And it's quite simple really. We have the nominative pronoun, so that is I, she, it, you. Then we add the infinitive form of the verb. That's pretty much it. There are cases where you need to add s onto the end of the infinitive form of the verb, and we'll get into that right now. So for the nominative pronouns I, we, you, and they, you're just going to use the infinitive form of the verb. For example, I drive, you work, they do. For he, she, it, we're going to add s to the end of the infinitive form of the verb. So to use the same three examples, he drives, she works, it does. Now you will have noticed that the verb do becomes D-O-E-S. This is because it's irregular, so it doesn't follow the normal rules. And with regards to them kind of verbs, you just have to learn them. Another point to mention is that when we are talking with he, she, and it, there are two more instances where the verbs are irregular. And one of these is verbs that end in double S, i.e. miss, kiss, etc. So, when the verb ends in double S and we're talking about he, she, or it, we need to add es onto the end of the infinitive form of the verb. So for example, he kisses, she misses. And the second situation where the verbs become irregular is when the verb ends in y and is preceded by a consonant. So for example, the verb to spy. To spy means to watch people who don't know that you're watching them. So the verb spy, when you're talking about he, she, or it, you remove the y and you replace it with I-E-S. So spy becomes spies. Okay, so now we've got all that boring stuff out of the way. Well, not boring, it's informative. We need to move on to the uses of this particular tense. And there are three main uses that I can think of, and I'm going to explain them in a minute. But the main use is to describe things in general. So for example, at this moment in time, I am sat making a YouTube video talking to you, but I drive a car. I drive a car. It's a general statement. So it doesn't mean I'm driving a car right now, because obviously I'm not doing that. I'm talking to you lovely people. But it's a general statement. I drive a car. I have a car on the front and I drive it. I don't need to put a time frame on it. I don't need to say when I'm doing it, just I drive a car. And then the person who I'm speaking to knows that I own a car and I drive it on a regular basis. So the first of the three main uses is actually a collection of uses which are kind of the same. So number one, we use the present simple tense to express habits, express general truths, and express repeated actions. So let's give you some examples of them three things. So to give you some examples of habits, for example, I drink coffee at breakfast. It's a habit. I drink coffee at breakfast every day. It's a habit. Another one would be, he walks to work. Now this statement simply means that is his mode of travel to get to work. He walks to work. It's a habit. He does it every day. Okay, and the second use in that little collection of uses wrapped together in the first main use, keep up will ya, is general truths. So this is something that's general and it's a statement of truth. So to give you an example, the Earth, which is the planet that we live on, it's called the Earth. The Earth revolves around the sun. Now, if you don't know what revolve means it goes around, so it revolves. So a general truth statement would be the Earth revolves around the sun. Another example of a general truth would be scissors cut through paper. And the last one out of the little collection for the first use is repeated actions. So it's an action that gets repeated on a regular basis. So for example, if I'm talking about me and somebody else, we become we. I have my toothbrush here. We brush our teeth every day. We brush our teeth every day. It's a repeated action. Another example of this would be they cycle to work every morning. If you don't know what cycle means, this cycle is the action of riding a bike, a bicycle. We call it cycling. So they cycle to work every morning. And that is a repeated action and we use the present simple tense. Okay, the second main use of the present simple tense is to give instructions or directions. So for example, let's pretend that you have never used a telephone before. I know that's a highly unlikely example, but let's just pretend, suspend your disbelief for 1 minute. Let's pretend you have never used a telephone. So I could give you an instruction using the present simple tense, which might go like this. You put the phone to your ear. Present simple tense. You put the phone to your ear. You open the packet and empty it out. They are present simple instructions. The other one is directions. So for example, if you see me walking down the street and you pull over, to pull over is to pull your car to the side of the road, and you ask me for directions somewhere, then I could say, you turn right at the next traffic lights. And that is the present simple tense to give a direction. You turn right at the next set of traffic lights. And the last main use for the present simple tense is to express fixed arrangements, which are quite often in the future. Well, they're always in the future really, aren't they? But we use the present simple to describe this. And to give you an example of this, if I'm talking to you about, say, a friend of mine who's coming to the UK, I can use the present simple tense to describe when he gets here. So I could say, he arrives in the UK tomorrow. He arrives in the UK tomorrow. Present simple tense, but it's a fixed arrangement that is going to happen in the future. To give you another example, I could say, let's say that two of my friends are starting a new job. Then I could say something like, they start work next week. So they're going to commence work next week. It's in the future, but I'm using the present simple tense to describe that to you. They start work next week. Okay people, that's it for this week's video. I hope you enjoyed it. As always, I hope you found it useful. Please feel free to share this video with your English learning friends. One thing I've noticed in doing these videos is that I get a lot of comments about my accent. Now, the truth is that I don't actually speak in my normal accent when I'm talking to you guys. I speak a little more slowly and I speak more clearly. So what I'm going to do, I think, is I'm going to make a video actually speaking in my normal accent as I would talk to other people, other native speakers here in my own town. And let's see how much you can understand. It's a real challenge for you listening. It's going to be a challenge for me as well to speak in my normal accent and not speak more clearly and slowly, as I always do when I'm speaking to non-native English speakers. So if you have any ideas about things I can talk about in my own accent, then let me know and I'll do my best to do it. Have a great weekend and I'll see you people in the next video. Bye bye.